people and recognize you for your accomplishments, and that's a really fun part of what we get to do. And so I'm going to have Julie and the rest of the VPs come up so we can do recognition.
Hello, everyone. Just should we introduce ourselves? We all know us.
Right there.
Okay, so if are there any first-time guests here tonight? I have some fun little things for you.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
Put that there. Somebody is
Okay, so I think we're gonna just first start by introducing ourselves. So I'm Julie Nelson, and I have been with Arbonne for 12 years, and before doing Arbonne, I have 2 boys.
My name is Smith, and I just signed up this month. And I just say that because I'm kind of acting like it. I'm just kind of, fresh perspective for me this month. So, but my background is elementary education. I was a teacher and I was a nanny, and then working at the children's museum when I was introduced to Arbonne.
My name is Michaela Shaker, and I have been building my business for 11 and a half years. Is this your anniversary?
My anniversary of going to area manager. Yes.
Okay.
Not just a celebration.
No, I started. Oh, maybe anyway. And I. Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Any other dirty laundry?
She has a birthday, so this one, you guys.
Okay, so yes, I've been building my business for 11 and a half years, and I have 3 children, and I'll share a little bit more with you about my story a little later, but that's it in a nutshell.
And while I was building my business, I worked in a science background. I worked in research and so, but Arbonne's been a way for me to have freedom.
All right, thanks, you guys. Just so you think about me. So I want to begin by first organizing our top new and new this month. And then that includes you yourself and sales, and then anybody who signed up. And the volume like that, anybody who sponsored. So top new and new this month goes to Grace Wright with okay, and the next is 2,500 new and used. So that is anybody who reaches $2,500 with new volume from you and anybody else who sponsored. And this month we had Grace Wright, Martina Rodoni, and Jennifer. This month, top sponsoring, which includes anybody who sponsor with $150 plus in volume for clients and consultants. And top sponsoring this month goes to Grace Wright. right. Sponsoring stars this month are anybody who sponsors at least 5 150 plus PCs or consultants. And this month we have Jennifer Peace and Grace Wright.
It's
Right,
okay.
next we want to recognize the first level of management, which is district manager. And this is really an important level to reach, because once you reach this level, you know what to do, and you can actually reach any level. So this is a big milestone. So this month in qualification, this one's really cool. It's Elena Day. She's very close to my heart because she is super convicted and it's really just has this no matter what attitude. And when did you start up again? Was it May? So I mean, with all of these obstacles, she has no matter what made this happen. So I'm really proud of her. And we have Debbie Lump, sponsored by Felicia Dwight. Just to clarify, to go into qualification for district manager, you need to achieve the $2,500 volume to an anybody you sponsor. And you do that 3 months in a row in order to
Mention something. I'm sure.
So these guys are in the first month of qualification. The next thing is we want to recognize the top district managers in our organization, and this month it's Martina Ragioni with 6,887. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
The next is area manager. So the area manager is our second level, and as you said, this is my anniversary month. Going there yet? This is a huge feat in a totally different way, because you really get a huge raise. So your average income can be anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a month as an area manager. And when I became an area manager, I was making $1,400 a month as a social worker. And so all of a sudden I got a paycheck that was $2,000. So it was $600 more than a paycheck, and I was doing a fraction of the time. So that was kind of a eye-opener. And that's when I really started bringing a lot of people.
Your face is on this, I wouldn't worry about it.
It's kind of, yes, you should do this. So anyway,
I didn't know they were
so
saying
was
that,
it?
right? Because I put that
We
in,
want to recognize the top area manager. And
not to the team page, but the anything, and no.
Our next level is just feel good up here, because you'll be up there hanging out soon. The next level is regional vice president, and that is where you get the Mercedes. So you yet again have a fun milestone, but you also get another huge jump in your paycheck. And we want to recognize this month that Grace is halfway to region right now. So, okay, and then top region is myself. Which I should really point out, this is really important. Okay? I can bow, but I shouldn't, because it's my entire team. It's like a ridiculous amount of people that makes up a region. So it's everybody working really hard. Anyway, I think that's important to know. My next and final level of management is national vice president, and I've said this before. This is like utopia. I think is national vice president. You don't have any troubles. Your troubles are gone. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but they don't hurt as
Says
bad.
that right.
It's just not as painful because you're rich. The average income at this level is about $22,000 a month. $22,000 a month, I said. And we have a national vice president here in Missoula. She's my sponsor. Anyway, we're trucking right along as a group, and we are working towards national vice president. And I'm happy to report that I'm halfway to national vice president. We were 101,000 last month, and you need to get to 160,000. So we're getting there. Yes. All right.
So isn't it funny? I just have to point out that perspective real quick because she just said 101,000, and I was like, that's so close to 160,000. And when we're brand new in this business and we have to do 2,500, we're like, there's no way I can do 2,500. And your perspective changes when you see what you can do.
It does. Well, I'm just going to disclose something. I had to go complete district manager, and I had to get $700 more in 2 days. And I was like, impossible. Impossible. It's not going to happen. I can't get it done. $700, people. That's like 2 hours and 9 cents. Anyway, I'm ashamed, but I'm going to share it.
Did you do it?
Of course I did. I panhandled. Or 9 cents. I'm just kidding. I did it, yes, easily. I did more than $700. So I think that's a really good point. Okay, and this month I wanted to point out, we also, this is really cool, you can earn a bonus at every level too. So not only can you get this great paycheck at the end of your month that Arbonne will send to you, on top of any of your earnings you get from selling your product, Arbonne also gives you an opportunity to earn a bonus. And as a district manager, you can earn $200 extra. As an area manager, you can earn $400 extra. And a regional vice president, you can earn $600 extra. And you just changed this in the last few months that you can actually, whatever level you're at, let's say you're an area manager, you can actually, if you reach both levels, you can actually earn both $200 and $400 to $600 in bonuses. Where before you got the bonus that was the highest, and now you can earn all of them together. So that's really cool. So our DM bonus earners this month are Grace Wright, Marianne Hubbard, and Cindy Wall. And then finally, our area manager bonus, like I said, is $400, and this month we have Grace Wright.
So she's an example of somebody earning.
Yes.
Well,
600. Yes.
that's a nice little boost to your paycheck for sure.
Okay, finally, we want to recognize our top 3 districts. So this includes anybody, regional vice president, area manager, district manager, it doesn't matter. Your district, it includes anybody that you're sponsoring. Even if you're area manager, you're still sponsoring and working your own central district. And we like to honor the top 3 districts. And this month, number 1 is Grace, 12,037. Second is Cindy Waltz, 7,402. And third is Martina Rodoni, who's 6,887. And then finally, we are recognizing, this is a sponsoring challenge called It's in the Bag. And what we did is, there's certain markers that if you reach this marker in sponsoring, then you get a little gift from your sponsor or RVP. And then you get, if you reach 100, then you get a tip in your list. So first I'm going to say who got to 20 this month. Jana Van Whitbeck. She is and Jennifer Peace got to 40. But I also want to mention, because I missed the last meeting, but Grace Wright reached 100. What now? I don't even know. I should tell you though, this is the 3rd Tiffany bauble this girl has got. She just keeps cranking out sponsoring, and it's awesome. So she gets her little Tiffany necklace. It's coming in the mail. Anyway, so congratulations, Grace. I didn't get to tell last time. So. All right. That's it. Anything else?
Thank you, Julie. Okay, so next we have the pleasure of hearing from my sponsor, Regional Vice President Michaela Shanger. And I have to tell you guys, every time I listen to Michaela do the opportunity, she re-sponsors me. I'm always sitting listening to her thinking, sign me up, I'll do this. So she's really good at what she does.
Thank you, Cindy. I must speak to you, Cindy, because it worked like 10 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm okay. So yes, I get to share with you guys about this business model and this amazing company and what you have sitting in front of you and what you can do with this. Can you guys hear me? Am I loud enough? Okay. So I want to give credit where credit is due. Cindy did this incredible presentation, I think it was about 2 years ago, if that, but yeah, about 2 years ago. And she based it upon this fabulous book that we use in our businesses. It's called The Flip Flop CEO. And I reference this book so much. I hand this book out to so many people. I think I always have at least 5+ copies on my shelf. And it's just an amazing way to share with people what our business model is and what it is that we do, what the benefits are of network marketing and social selling. And it's very conversational in style, so it's a quick read. People usually have no problem reading through it in 1 or 2 sittings. So it's a fantastic way to, if you especially are not quite sure how to explain what it is that we do, this can be a great tool for you. But I still rely on it, and I can explain what we do pretty well. So I highly recommend it for yourself or for people that you're sharing this with.
So people shut off their internet a second.
Shut off internet? Okay.
On their phones.
Or you guys having a hard time connecting? Okay, if you are connected to the Wi-Fi in the loft, if you wouldn't mind shutting it off so we're streaming up here and having a hard time, I think. So if you could check, please. Okay, so I'll share a little bit about my story. I was introduced to Arbonne almost 11 and a half years ago, and I was introduced along with my mom by a family friend of ours, and I was at a point in my life where I really was kind of at a crossroads. I had recently finished up my degree, and I was working for a nonprofit, not making a whole lot. I was making, actually, you know, I've been out of the traditional workforce for 10 and a half years. So I don't really have a whole lot of reference, thank goodness. But at that point, I was making, I think, like $11.50 an hour, and I was psyched. That was, for Missoula, I felt like I was doing really well. And, but I was still not really able to pay my bills, which is so sad. But I had a job, I was working full-time. I actually was working with Cindy, and I just was at this point where I felt like I had a lot of limitations placed on me because of my income and my time. I was, committed to working 40, 45 hours a week. I had to be somewhere logging in my time. And then I also I was capped out at this hourly wage. There was no way of making more than that unless I was going to take on a second job. And so I really felt like I needed to go back to school or do something. I didn't really know what that was, but I pretty much had gathered this, the information and thought, I'm going to have to go back to school. And I didn't want to, honestly. I didn't want to go into further debt. I didn't want to go back to school. I was burnt out. And so it was right around that time I was introduced to this business. And it was so not what I was looking for. It really was not. It kind of just blindsided me. I wasn't thinking that I was going to start a business of my own. I definitely didn't see myself going into skincare and health and wellness. I had studied economics and international relations. That wasn't on my radar at all. And so this was really kind of a surprise to me that I was interested in it. But there were things about Arbonne that I couldn't ignore. And that just kind of stirred something in me. And one was the products were awesome. And I, without even trying them really, other than the sea salt scrub at the sink, I knew they were phenomenal. And I loved what they stood for. And that really resonated with me. But the second thing that really stood out to me was everyone that I met was so down to earth and kind and authentic and genuine, and that was really powerful for me. I remember Julie and just thinking, aside from the fact that she was gorgeous, thinking this person is so real and you know, like, just I can really relate to her because she's so real. And so that was a big thing for me. And then lastly, I could not get over the potential, the income potential that this business model was presenting to me. And even though a little part of me didn't really, I didn't understand really what was possible with this. I saw that I could make a full-time income working part-time hours, and that was something that I was very intrigued by. So after working through a lot of my fears of selling, of feeling like I really didn't know anyone after being away at school for 4 years and coming back here, and I had a lot of hesitations. And but once I moved past those things, I jumped in, and it wasn't more than a year later, and I was able to quit my full-time job. And that was really the first thing that was kind of the first milestone in my business. So that's my initial story. I'll share a little more about how things have progressed and gone along in terms of my business and my life. But I want to share a little bit with you about Arbonne as a company. And we have been in existence as a company for 35 years. And we have a great reputation of providing quality products that are pure, safe, and beneficial. Our home office is in Irvine, California, and we're operating globally. We have we have consultants and clients in the US and Canada, Australia, UK, Poland, and then in spring of next year would be in Taiwan. And our products are formulated without animal products and animal byproducts. There's no parabens, there's no formaldehyde, don't eat preservatives, no phthalates, no synthetic dyes or fragrances, no gluten, and no petroleum-based ingredients, including mineral oil and petrolatum, which are the two biggies. So, and I think I mentioned, we've never tested on animals, and we don't include any animal byproducts. We're a vegan company, and I wasn't around, well, I was barely around in 1980. I came around a year later, but I don't think at that point in time, vegan was really a trendy thing, or even something you would even occasionally hear about. I don't know. Mom.
No, vegetarian.
Vegetarian was about
is where it was at.
Okay, yep. Vegetarian. So, and that, it's a very good example of how progressive and forward-thinking Arbonne is as a company, and that is, 11 and a half years into this company, a lot of us have been able to see that firsthand. It's amazing how things have changed and progressed and gotten better, and it will only continue to do that. So, let's see. We mentioned a few of the management positions in Arbonne, and we do have, there's 4 levels. There's district manager, area manager, regional vice president, and national vice president. And I remember when I started, 2,500 was crazy amount of products. There's no way I can do this. I guess I'm just gonna believe the person who's leading me and figure that they gotta be right, but I don't know how that's gonna happen. And I think I had a month where Betsy called me and said, "Michaela, you're only like $500 away." Yeah. sorry, I don't know how to, and I didn't do it. I just didn't know what was possible at that point. But after you are in this business for even a little while and you've given it a good, you had faith and listened to your upline, you are very amazed at what you actually can accomplish when you believe in it. So district manager, the average incomes will range between about $200 up to about $1,000 a month as you get closer to the second level. And for me, I was able to pay my half of the rent when I reached district manager, which was $325. And I was also able to keep my business going. I was able to buy catalogs and sample packs and get the products that I needed to, keep things moving along. And then as an area manager, the average income jumps. It goes from about $1,200 up to about $3,500, maybe even $4,000 if you're a really healthy, thriving area. And for me, that was when I replaced my full-time income. And a lot of people, I think even to this day, can replace their full-time income as an area manager here in Missoula. And this is also the point where you get to will your business. And that is an incredible thing. You can choose who you will your business to, and your paycheck will continue to come to them even if you're not here. And so my husband and I have been able to do this for a long time, and we procrastinated and didn't have a will. And then after about when I think our twins were like 3 years old, we're like, okay, we need a will. And I was able to put my Arbonne business and have him be the benefactor and then to my children. And that is a really, really good feeling. And then as a regional vice president, your average income will range probably between about $4,500 up to about $12,000. And this is also where you earn the Mercedes-Benz, which is a wonderful benefit. And then as a national vice president, the average income is about $22,000 a month. And so this was, for me, when I don't even know if we had average incomes that we could share when I first started. The number I heard wasn't $22,000 a month, it was $3,500 a month. That's what really spoke to me. And because it was way more than what I was making working full time. And so, even if $22,000 is just sounds too good to be true, which it's not. But if you're not willing to receive that and take that information in, then focus on what is life-changing for you and know that is absolutely possible. But this is so much more than about money. It really is. This company has changed my life financially and the way I think about money, but it's changed my life in so many other ways as far as how I think, how I approach relationships, how I parent my children, and those things, it doesn't matter how much money you make, those things are with you forever and impact your life and so many other people's lives too. So what is network marketing? Because Arbonne is a network marketing company, and network marketing is very simply a distribution system. It's a way of getting a product to your client. And so with traditional retail, products go through a series of steps. A manufacturer, a wholesaler, a retailer, usually an advertiser is involved. There's a lot of people involved between it being made and ending up with the client. In network marketing, it's very simple, and that whole process is pared down. You have your products going from a manufacturer to your consumer, and often in terms of Arbonne, it's very much just goes straight from Arbonne to the client. And I deliver products occasionally, but I really like UPS to deliver them, and they get to my client a lot faster. And so really network marketing is just a more direct route to getting people their products. And as a little side note, UPS does carbon neutral shipping. All of our shipments are carbon neutral, meaning that we invest with every shipment, we invest in a carbon reduction program that offsets our carbon footprint, which is really cool. So Arbonne has always been a very environmentally conscious company, and that's just another example of what we're doing. So let's see here. Just a few things that I really love about this business model that I want to share with you. One is that makes it especially different from what most of us do to make a living is that we don't have to trade time for money. So most of us are accustomed to clocking in and clocking out. That's what I did for a few years. No, I've always been very entrepreneurial. When did I start babysitting? I think I was like 8. And then I used to play my violin down on the corner at the farmer's market when I was like 12. And I'd set my face out like some vagabond. Anyway, I did clock in and clock out for a little while. But this is what is so neat about this business is that network marketing is different. You don't exchange time for money. You create residual income and leverage your time by building a network. And so a good example of this is, I started my business, and within about 6 months, I found 4 other people, Cindy being one of them, who wanted to build their own business. And I just taught them, along with the help of my upline, to do what I was doing. And so, I was working about 10 hours a week. I taught them to do the same, and they were working about 10 hours a week. So together, combined, we were out doing about 50 hours of Arbonne, magic, and meeting with people for coffee and talking about products and sharing the business, and the resulting sales of that effort and time was what we get paid on the sales. And so instead of me just getting, benefiting from the 10 hours that I was putting into my business, I was benefiting and harnessing 50 hours total of earning power. And that is what is so brilliant. When you think about, when I go out and I do a presentation, a group presentation, I sometimes sit there if I have a moment and I wonder, how many other people on my team are doing this right now in someone else's living room, sharing what I'm sharing. And I wonder how many people are hearing this story right now. And they're all on my team, but I'm only in one place talking to 4 people or 5 people. But so many other people are hearing the same thing, and all of the resulting activity that comes from that is leveraging in my team. So that is an amazing thing. If you've ever felt like, gosh, I wish I could just clone myself so that I had more time to do things and I could get everything done, well, this is essentially what we do in this business. We duplicate over and over and over. Okay. Another thing is the freedom and flexibility. This is a brilliant way of being an entrepreneur with very little risk. And one of the benefits of being an entrepreneur is that you do get to determine when and where you work, mostly. And with this business in particular, if you have a phone and a laptop or a smartphone, you can work your business wherever it is that you find yourself. And if you're willing to talk about your products and the business that you have to offer other people, you can work this anywhere. So, and it can be worked into the nooks and crannies of your day, which, I was working full-time, Cindy was working full-time, like everyone was working full-time when they started their business. And some of us had children at that point, and we all have very full, busy lives regardless of your situation. Most of us are not sitting around going, so much time, so little to do. No, most of us have plenty to do. And this is a wonderful way of adding something. You will be busier, but it can be done in a way where you don't have to throw everything aside in order to do this. You can leave it in. So it gives you a lot of flexibility and a lot of freedom. And it does give you that ability to make a full-time income working part-time hours. So the other thing is, which is a great benefit, is you get essentially a business in a box. So starting a business with Arbonne is a lot like a franchise, like opening up a franchise, but without paying the exorbitant cost of the licensing fees and all of that to have that brand. But really, starting an Arbonne business is you get built in You get a product development department, a marketing department, a distribution center, a customer service center, a legal department. You get all of these things already established, done very well, mind you, and without having to come up with the initial cost. And not only that, but you also get phenomenal products that you didn't have to like learn how to develop. So we have a turnkey system that includes group presentations, one-on-ones. You can do demo kits or what we call fit kits with our nutrition line, sample packs. This has been developed and fine-tuned over the years so that people, when they plug in, they will see success. Okay. Another great part of what we do is that you get paid what you're worth. Okay, and in network marketing, and I still catch myself saying that, you know, your efforts, you get paid for your efforts, and which is partially true, but it really depends on your effectiveness. You get paid for your effectiveness. How good are you at sharing this story? And yes, the more effort you put into sharing it, the better you will get at it, and the more effort you put into it, the more people you are likely to share it with. But it's how effective are you in that time that you are working your business, and that's what we get paid for. So it really allows us to work smarter and not harder. You just work on becoming more and more effective at what you do. Okay, and the better you are at what you do, the more you get paid, and the less time that you end up spending doing it. Okay. Another thing I love about what we do is that we don't need a huge network to be successful. This was something I was afraid of in the beginning, but what's so neat is that we are taught from the very beginning how to expand our networks in a really authentic way, and that you end up, I think, what was it? The average network marketer gets in front of more people in 1 year than the average person does in their lifetime. And I believe it, because when you're plugged into our system of doing 6 group presentations a month, on average you're meeting, I mean, our goal really, no matter what you're doing, is to get in front of 30 to 50 people a month. So that's a lot of people every year. And I can tell you, before I started my business, I was not getting in front of 30 to 50 people a month. So yeah, it's amazing how many people you will meet. And it doesn't, those are not people that you knew before you started your business. Okay. So another thing I really love is that it allows you to take charge of your financial future. You are really the only determining factor in your business. Everyone has the same products. Everyone has the same number of hours in a day. Everyone has challenges. Everyone has this amazing company behind them. We're the only, the only factor that's different in there, and we have that choice as to how fast we grow, how big we grow our businesses, and there's no one that's telling us you can't do that or you can't do this. We are totally given that choice as to what we make of this. And that is really cool and also really scary. But what's really neat is, it may be scary, but one thing that is such an awesome benefit of building a business like this is that you're taught to work on yourself. And the more you grow yourself, the more your business will grow. And so if you can master your mind, that's not so scary anymore. Network marketing is an incredible industry, and it's growing, it's booming. People are starting to really understand that it is a viable and extremely smart way of doing business. And it really is, I think, only going to grow from here on out. And it's way better than getting a second job. I'm so glad that I didn't do that, because a second job requires a lot more time. And starting a traditional business requires a lot more money, and probably a lot more time. So we have incredible recognition as well, not only from Arbonne, but from our local team. And it's just another one of the many benefits that we have in working this business. But I hope that what I've shared with you has given you a little bit more of a feeling for what this is and what you before you. And whether you're a seasoned consultant or just looking into this or brand new, that you can then decide, where are you going to take this from here? How are you going to treat, if you have a business already, how are you going to treat your business differently? If you're brand new, what are you going to do with this? Because it is an amazing thing just waiting for you to pursue. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela. Okay, so we are going to have kind of a surprise training we just decided today. Grace is going to come up and she's going to share. She just went to, I think most of you are aware of these calls that Rachel's been offering with Jerry Rosenthal. If you get your $2,500 brick or your district bonus, you get to be on these calls every month. And he's an awesome trainer and he puts on these events called Champion Summits. And Grace, because she's so hardcore committed to growing her business, drove to Denver over the weekend and went to one. And so she's going to share something that she really felt compelled to share. So come on up, Grace.
I'm going to pass. You can take one and start to.
She's giving us an assignment.
Yes, you all have homework. Ladies and leads on too. So it was very cool. I went down, and I guess for everybody that does not know me, I am Grace Wright, an executive area manager in Bozeman. And there's been a lot of stuff, and everybody's business hits certain things where you feel like you're on a roll, and then you're going to have speed bumps. Some people choose to completely detour and derail, and other people will choose at that point to let it become a speed bump. And I think it's really cool wherever you are at with your head will dictate, I guess, where your business is going to go from there and how you're going to take on new things. And as I started listening to, I have not missed one of Jerry's calls, and that was a goal I made to myself. That was, if I'm not on those calls, my team will not be on those calls. So making sure that I earn every single one of them, and it's been really cool because every single month or week, I guess, that we have a call, then he's telling us like exactly what I needed to hear that day. So whether I'm the person that hung up and cried, or I'm crying while he's on the phone, or somebody else hangs up and cries, like it's affecting people, and it's really cool. And his whole mindset, his whole training is on our minds and what are we doing with it. So I knew that I was gonna pretty much get kicked and like be shown what to do to make it better. But he does it in a very nice way. Like he's the speaker that yells, but it's really fun. Like you can't wait to hear what he has to say next. And I was watching people post on his Facebook page about these goal cards. And so it's just like, I can't wait to go like hear what he's talking about, because I've done already cards on 4x6 or notes on 4x6 cards, my goals. And when I was repeating them to myself every day, most of them I hit. So, and then we get busy and I don't know, whatever, stuff happens. And I realized I'd quit doing my goal card. So I was really excited when he started going over what to do. So I'm gonna have all of you, I'm gonna repeat this, and everybody that is on the other side, you guys should all have cards too. You knew this was coming. And if you didn't, you have a notebook. So write this down. I am so happy and grateful. And you're gonna need one of these, so if you missed one, grab one somewhere, because you're all going to repeat it with me. For perfect health, unstoppable confidence, and a constant abundance of time, money, and freedom in my life.
Okay, I'm next. Unstoppable.
Unstoppable confidence, and a constant abundance of time, money, and freedom. I am so happy and grateful for perfect health, unstoppable confidence, and a constant abundance of time, money, and freedom in my life. Guys good? I attract the right people, and right needs to be in capital letters. resources, and opportunities. I attract the right people, resources, and opportunities. That will enable me to achieve, and then we're going to leave a blank for 2 seconds. So you need to write in whatever level you are now. His answer to it was, if you're a district, then your next goal is to get what? Area. If you're an area, your next goal is to get a car, obviously. So write in after that, to achieve my, for me, it's regional vice president promotion. So if you're not a district yet, it would be my district manager promotion. On or before, and then put your date. And he gave different math to be realistic. Obviously, if you are not a district, you cannot be an area in a month. So, like, fill it out realistically, but also hold yourself accountable. Like, you can't say, oh yeah, by this time next year I'll be region. Seriously, you need to be, like, you need to go area, you need to go district. So break it down to how quickly you can do that.
What was the verbiage there? Achieve my promotion by
whatever promotion on or before. And I like that he did this, because your brain, if you say, I will not promote to regional vice president until December, what is your brain looking for? I'm not going to become a regional vice president to December. So, like, doing on or before, whatever date you put there, it was really cool. So then he explained, he was paying $800 a month for his mentor to teach him this. And when his mentor handed him a card and had him write this out, he looked at him and said, are you kidding me? Like, you're wasting my money. Teach me something that's valuable. And I think his mentor was Al, or something like letter. Al, I want to say Al for some reason, but he was just like, write down your goal card. Okay, so then the key to this is reciting it out loud, 5 minimum, different times a day, 5 times each. So you're going to be repeating this a minimum of 25 times a day. And his big thing is talking about how we're on a movie, like our brain is on a movie. Our life will keep happening the way it happened and what has already happened until we change the script of what's coming next. So we're going to default back to what we know if we are not getting at something else. If we quit doing this, you're going to default back to what you knew, which would be back to what you had before your life was going to be changed, right? So I'm going to repeat this all over again, and then you guys can finish your homework. I am so happy and grateful for perfect health, unstoppable confidence, and a constant abundance of time, money, and freedom in my life. I attract the right people, resources, and opportunities that will enable me to achieve my blank promotion or whatever goal on or before whatever date. You all have it?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to stand up and recite this 5 times with your goals. I literally wrote, he thought this was the dumbest thing he'd ever heard. So if you're on the other side, you also need to stand. I will know. Okay, ready? I am so happy and grateful for perfect health, unstoppable confidence, and a constant abundance of time, money, and freedom in my life. I attract the right people, resources, and opportunities that will enable me to achieve my regional vice president promotion on or before December 30th, 2016. How many of you guys put a year? I forgot to tell you that. You need a year. Yeah? Okay. So there's 1. You guys good? Ready to go faster?
Yes.
I am so happy and grateful for perfect health, unstoppable confidence, and a constant abundance of time, money, and freedom in my life. I attract the right people, resources, and opportunities that will enable me to achieve my regional vice president promotion on or before September 30th, 2015. Ready? I am so happy and grateful for perfect health, unstoppable confidence, and constant abundance of time, money, and freedom in my life. I attract the right people, resources, and opportunities that will enable me to achieve my Regional Vice President promotion on or before September 30th, 2015.
It's all done.
And it was. I am so happy and grateful for perfect health, unstoppable confidence, and a constant abundance of time, money, and freedom in my life. I attract the right people, resources, and opportunities that will enable me to achieve my Regional Vice President promotion on or before September 30th, 2016. Is that 4? Yes. Yep. I'm so happy and grateful for perfect health, unstoppable confidence, and a constant abundance of time, money, and freedom in my life. And I attract the right people, resources, and opportunities that will enable me to achieve my Regional Vice President promotion on or before September 30th, 2016. Okay, so the cool thing with this is, as he was saying, like, you might not see anything in the first 2 to 3 days, because we need it now. You guys can all sit if you want. We all need it right now. But if we keep saying it, what's changing is your head. And then as you go, and he said something that I caught, where he was like, you probably won't even see anything different in 2 months. And immediately, as soon as he said that, my head stopped and was like, no, because you remember the circle you draw? And you put a little dot in the middle of it? It happens when you believe it happens. What do you want to happen can happen in the time frame that you believe it can happen in. So as he was saying this, I'm thinking, whatever, like mine is like in the next 2 months, what I wrote down. So as you're saying this, you might not think that anything is changing, but your brain is looking for those things to bring it back into your life for, like, so it can manifest. And when you quit, if it's not there, like, you're like, okay, this is stupid, this is crazy, it's not working, people are gonna think I'm crazy. Awesome. Whose life do you want? Do you want yours, or do you want the people that are teaching you how to do it? And as he was saying that, I laughed, because he was saying that people are turning in videos where their children are reciting their goal card in the vehicle with them. Or like this lady has a 6-month-old baby that won't go to sleep until she says her goals. It's like, I don't know if it's a good thing, but like what, and their kids are doing it too. So going back to, we change what our kids think. So, and he has a challenge, so you can go to, if you're friends with him on Facebook, if you aren't, go friend him. But if you're friends with him on Facebook, set a timer in your phone, and the people that went National Vice President set a timer in their phone to remind them when to do it. So you made sure you got it in a minimum of 5 times a day. So if you're doing it right, as soon as you get up, write it on your mirror. Do it again before you go to bed, and then as many times as you can in between. But as you go, you're not even gonna need a card anymore. Like, you're gonna just keep saying this. And he had within, I'm like, all these people are sending him videos, but he has a 7-day challenge. So start now, and in 7 days, go post on his Facebook page how you feel. What is different in your life? Like, things that you wanted that were little, those things will start coming. But this, and he kept saying that through the training, is this is so easy to do, but it also makes it so easy not to do. And what Arbonne is the same way. Last month was the first month that I feel like I worked consistently a little chunk of time every day. I am an awesome roller coaster. I will ride and then I drop off because I'm tired. But last day of the month, I was seriously sitting there like, who am I supposed to call? Like, it was so cool. But in doing this, like, your brain will catch up with you. And yeah, it's exciting, and I cannot wait to see what's coming, because mine's in 2 months. Rosenthal, I thought it was fall, but it's actually,
Yeah, ROISENT.
ROISENTUL. Yeah, I'm gonna go post it on our Facebook group also.
Awesome.
And if you can get to a training that he has, it is completely worth your money. Like, it will completely change what you how you
And earn his calls.
earn his
Earn
calls.
their calls.
Like that is so
Yeah.
simple,
They're
but
so
it's
good.
yeah. And he trained a lot on what he's been talking about on the calls. Like there were little blippets in there, but then as he'd be going, then he'd go, "Here's a freebie," because he won't do it on calls. Like he will only do it when you're at his summits. So yeah, it was kind of fun. So that's it.
Okay, that was awesome. I am turning into such a personal growth nerd because I love stuff like that now. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to do this. So thank you, Grace. Okay, so next we have our call to action by Marianne Hubbard, Executive Regional Vice President, and she's going to be training on booking with expectancy and gratitude.
Thanks, Cindy. Grace, that was great. And I was thinking about, there's several things that you said that tie in really well with, or my training ties in really well with what you were bringing up as far as replacing the thoughts in your mind and training your brain. So, so I'm going to get started with this. I get to talk about booking with expectancy and gratitude. And I'm going to be giving a little bit different perspective on what is a very important part of our business and sometimes very challenging, and that's booking our calendar. You can look at expectancy and gratitude as helpful tools to help meet this challenge and actually turn it into a part of your business that can create excitement and makes your business more fun rather than it being maybe something that you dread. So just for a little background, the ideas that I'm sharing for the most part are inspired by a couple of favorite learning birds that I have, and they present this part of the business, which is largely in our heads, in a very practical, step-by-step way that I found very helpful. And I'll give you the details for those learning birds if you're interested at the end of my training. So if you've ever struggled to book your calendar, is there anybody here that maybe they don't know what I'm talking about? Thank you. Thank you for validating me. Okay, you know that if you don't have a full calendar, then you aren't in business. And you may feel like you're doing what you've been coached to do. You know, you're calling and you're asking, but maybe you're not getting results as far as booking goes. So booking seems hard. And oftentimes I would be frustrated by this, but I would kind of let myself off the hook because I would tell myself, well, at least I'm trying, right? I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I have no control over what happens. Well, the reason that I share this is because there is more to booking than going through those motions. And these learning burns have really helped me develop my mindset towards asking and booking. So we all do know the mechanics of booking your calendar. Ideally, you make calls daily, you book and hold 6 to 8 group presentations a month. This is what we've learned. If you can, overbook for presentations that might cancel or move into the next month. Again, ideally, you want to front load your bookings at the start of the month to enhance your momentum throughout that month. Use a booking game at group presentations, use team verbiage when you're asking, et cetera, et cetera. So if mechanics, those things were all we needed, then we all have full calendars throughout the year, right? Because we're doing that, we're doing what we're taught. Well, like I said, there's a bigger issue here than just the mechanics, and I've discovered some helpful tools that I feel are key through these learning burns that I mentioned. Booking my calendar has been a challenge over the course of my business, but I've come to really appreciate it at this point rather than hating it, dreading it, or fearing it. We tend to build this up in our heads. I know I do, or I have, that we just can't book and no one wants to host and everyone's too busy and it's the wrong time of year, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to ask you to write this down as my tip number 1. Mindset is absolutely key. Mindset is absolutely key. Neuroscience tells us that success for almost any achievement is over 80% in your head. 80%. That's a lot. This is really good news because it means that only 20% relies on the actual activity, like picking up the phone, calling, asking. So if you do the math on that, doesn't that mean that 80% of your booking success is totally in your control? Yeah, that's a good thing. So if 80% of booking my calendar is on me before I even pick up the phone, then success is largely where my head is. And this may be a little daunting when you think about what your brain is telling you, namely, that booking is hard, if that's what your little voice is telling you. Guess what? You stated that fact to your brain, and just like Grace was saying, your brain says, okay, it's hard, got it. I'll just go with that, you know, and it will prove you right every time. It will align reality with what you're telling it. So can you think of a time maybe when you made something way harder than it really was because of what you told yourself, like maybe a new job or learning a new skill or tackling a messy closet or a junk drawer or something like that? I think about my very unorganized basement a few years ago. I built this project up so big in my mind that it took me forever to even go downstairs and get started. I was afraid of that basement. And what I found, though, was once I actually got started, was that it went way faster than I thought it would. Than I had conjured up in my head. And I became more and more motivated as I worked through this project to finish it because I could see a difference and I could see results. I had evidence that I was actually getting somewhere. And then I thought, of course, why did I put it off so long? This wasn't bad at all. So as far as booking goes, do you do this? You say, okay, I really need to get my calendar booked. So I'm going to call Ariel. Oop, oh, it's a little too early, so I'll just wait, and then, it's too late. Too late, well, I'll just call her tomorrow. I'll just call tomorrow, or I'll call after I wipe down all of my cabinets inside and out. I just have to do that before I do anything else. So, is this you? Does it sound familiar? I have talked myself out of calling using all of these excuses and more. It's very easy to let something else become more important. So tip number 2 is stop making this so hard for yourself. Stop making it so hard. That's what we're doing when we do things like this. So decide, how many group presentations do you plan to hold for the month? This is a business. It's not an emotional roller coaster. So how many group presentations do you plan to hold for the month? And then commit to getting it done no matter what. Okay, and you can put NMW in capital letters. Okay, so we have many NMWs in our life though, don't we? I mean, and we don't even think about it now. A lot of them. Things that we really don't want to do, but we have to, and we do them regardless because they're important, like getting to work on time every day. Or just getting to work every day, week after week, making meals, paying bills, grocery shopping, laundry, whatever it is. These things need to be done, and they're important, and so we do them. Okay, so here are some things to remember for committing and booking your calendar NMW, no matter what. First of all, booking is what we do, you guys. This is a primary way that we grow an Arbonne business. So I invite you to create a new story in your head that you tell yourself. Commit to booking because that is your business. That is what we do. Second, be strategic. Start out by working backward from your goal. How many group presentations do you need to schedule for the month? Okay, so how many asks will you need to make in order to get those presentations? And from those asks, how many calls or, who all will you need to call to make those asks, to create those asks or allow for the opportunity for those asks? It becomes simple math when you take the emotion out of it, which is, it's hard, and break it down into a series of steps. The number of group presentations you need is dependent on the number of asks that you make, and the number of asks that you make is dependent on the number of calls and potential hosts that you do or that you have. And that's what you need to do. Those are the steps that you need to take. Third, be consistent. And this one should probably be up there with number one as far as booking being what we do. Doing something that's difficult becomes much easier with consistency and practice. And if you're making calls to book like 3 or 4 times a month, that's not going to build consistency. And so you're going to keep finding it hard because you're not doing it over and over. Just like, as far as Grace with our goal cards and repeating those affirmations and all, it gets easier and easier. And after a while, like you said, you don't even have to set a timer. You do them automatically during the day because you're practicing and you're doing it consistently. So set aside time each day, or at least a few times a week, to ask for group presentations. And soon it just becomes the norm. It becomes what you do. And it helps if you can participate in any incentives that your upline might give you, or if not, make up your own incentive if need be, and to keep you motivated. But make sure to reward yourself and watch your habit grow. The best gift is a strong business that you gift yourself. So, in addition to those incentives. Okay, and then 4th, keep calling until. That's another thing. That's part of this mindset. You're still going to, you're always going to hear no's. But in this case, they're no longer going to stop you. You're not going to, nobody wants to book. I'm just like calling. It's like, well, I keep calling. I've gotten no's. I'm going to call until I get a yes. That's how it works. If one person says no, then you just keep calling until you find somebody who does say yes. This is the mindset that we're talking about, and this is what you do in your business. It's not a question of trying or hoping or wishing. It's a matter of your commitment and the action that you take to make it happen. One of my favorite mantras is, I don't know how this is going to happen. I just know that it will. I don't have to worry. That's not my area. I don't have to worry about that. The universe or the law of attraction will take care of all that. I just need to do the do, and it will attract itself, or I will attract it. So, Stacy Shane Wilson is a VP who does one of the learning burns that I mentioned earlier. And she puts it this way: we need to be willing to pay the price. And the price isn't necessarily what you may be thinking right now. That is, call even though you're scared and feel the fear and do it anyway. No, she takes it from a completely different perspective, and that's what I love about this. So here's tip number 3. Call in gratitude. There's a huge difference when you pick up the phone and call somebody in gratitude. But before you do that, you want to get your mind right. So before you call, get your mind right. Be grateful for your business. Start thinking about what you do have. Be grateful that you're pushing yourself to grow this business, to do this for your family, to make a difference in people's lives, to grow a team, to be able to give as much as you want to give. Fall in love with your Arbonne business and feel that gratitude inside of you before you pick up the phone. It makes, like I said, it makes a world of difference. Okay, and then next, picture in your head whom you're going to be calling, and have a picture of them how you would like them to be, smiling, and open, and receptive to your call, and picture their get-together that they're going to host for you with their friends, hanging out, relaxing, and enjoying the evening together, and interested to listen to what you have to share with them. You have something to share. Be grateful that you have this person, this friend or neighbor or family member in your life, and feel joy at the idea that you get to do something wonderful for them, rather than we tend to think, oh gosh, I'm doing something to them. No, you're doing something wonderful for them. Chances are when they post for you, know that you're going to spoil them with a bunch of Arbonne goodies to try, to sample, and then treat them to a really funny thing that's just for them. Know that you're going to shower them with awesome host rewards. Ours are the best, you guys. I've had people say that over and over, like, really, I get all this as a host? This is amazing. Know that they're going to want a book. Who wouldn't want these amazing products, and at such a great discount too? Who doesn't want more time with their friends? We become a really great excuse to get people together, a reason to get people together, and know that you're providing a service, something special for them, and people are grateful for you. Okay, so as you get into this zone, you can also play the what if game, and this is really powerful. Jonathan Mansky, who wrote The Law of Attraction Made Simple, offers this very powerful strategy for retraining your brain. So when you think about booking your calendar and you've got that little voice in your head that says, I can't do this, I can't book my calendar, he says to simply ask yourself, what if I can? Brain research shows that your brain will accept absolutes as truths when you believe them to be true. Like I said, it wants to align with what it's hearing. And your brain will reject statements that you believe to be false. So how do you trick your brain to believe something that at this point you really don't? You state it as a possibility. So you may be thinking, I can't book 8 group presentations this month. Okay, so go ahead and say in your head right now, I booked 8 group presentations this month. Did your brain accept this or not? You might have had a little inner voice saying, no, no, you didn't. Okay, so now try it this way. What if I booked 8 group presentations this month? That's very obvious, you guys, come on. Did you notice a difference, maybe? Your brain might not have had a comeback for that one. And that's how you can work to overcome that inner critic. Your brain won't argue with possibilities. So just those 2 little words, what if, can really make a big shift in your thinking. Okay, here's tip number 4. Tell yourself a new story from now on. Tell yourself a new story from now on. What if booking your calendar is the best part of your business? You know, and I love this, and I am just totally stealing this from Stacy Wilson. You do get to talk to friends that you haven't seen for a while or hung out with for a while, and you're creating a social event where snacks are involved. So what exactly is the downside of this? What's not to like? You know, when you think about it that way. Living in fear and in scarcity, in a scarcity mindset, is much harder than living in expectancy and doing the do. Challenge your limiting belief and create a new story of expectancy for yourself and your business, despite the evidence of perhaps a blank calendar. Your mind excludes evidence that doesn't support your viewpoint. So, and this is so true. I love this. So all the times maybe you asked a friend to host for you and they said, sure. And they gave you their guest list and everything was rolling along. That doesn't stick in your head because you're saying it's hard, it's hard, it's hard. So you forget all the positives. The times you booked maybe at a presentation with your envelope game or a booking game, and you had people who, you know, filled out your open date card, you were ready to go before you even packed up that night. Those don't count either. Your brain doesn't hang on to them. In fact, you may have even said yes to hosting a group presentation at one point for your sponsor or somebody on your team. And how, you know, that's how you ended up here, maybe as a consultant. How hard was that to schedule a firm date from you? Because you keep telling this lie to yourself that booking a group presentation is hard. What you remember only are all the calls you made where people said no. And so that really hit me, and I thought, you know, so what I did was I started making a list for every time someone said yes to booking a group presentation or meeting me for coffee. or trying to sample. I'm throwing all those yeses on there I can to replace the evidence that I had in my head that was continuing to support it being hard. So now I look at my list, and some of these you guys are really amazing. This is how it got started. I've got people who I had been asking forever to host. No. I kept asking, and they said yes, and they hosted for me. Or asking somebody to take a look at the business. No. Asked them again. They said, yeah, I'll get together for coffee. And then I even had somebody who has been buying 1 or 2 products from me 2 or 3 times a year for the last 4 years. I've asked her to host, asked her to come to a meeting, asked her to sign up as a PC, nothing. And out of the blue the other day, she emailed me and said she needed products. I mentioned to her some of the benefits of being a preferred client, and she signed up and placed this huge order. So anyway, so I've got all these people on my list, and what I do is, before I call, I look at my list and I go, well, Heidi and Sarah said yes to hosting. Anybody left? And Natasha signed up and did a huge order as a PC after her history of just dabbling. Then other people will too. So it's happened. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing out all the no's, all the times when it didn't work, and what I'm remembering are all the people that said yes, and I'm validating that I can do and that I can grow my business. Okay. So remember, your mind will make your reality match what you're telling it. So change the story that you tell yourself in your head. You can do that. Remember, 80%, it's our control. So when you change your expectation, you change your results. And therefore, you change your reality. That's very, very powerful. Thinking with a scarcity mindset rather than one of abundance is simply a habit. And it can be replaced. I won't even say broken. That's kind of a negative word. It can be replaced with a much healthier new. So change this lie that you tell yourself to a truth that serves you. What if you set a goal and you wouldn't stop until you hit it? What if you booked 4 presentations this month, no matter what? What if you felt so good and so confident after that 4 that you kept calling and you booked 6? What if that turned into 8? What if by consistently working with your ask in gear, you never looked at a blank calendar again? How awesome would that be? And you actually enjoy filling it. What if you simply knew that you can do that? Okay, so now that you've what-ifed yourself and you're grateful, you've got all this going on, and you visualize your success and you see your open calendar filled with dates, and you see your guest smiling and receptive, or your host smiling and receptive to your call, now you can call. You've got that all set up. Grab your planner where hopefully, or the night before, you've written down the phone numbers of the people that you want to call. And then, of course, it's not like Kayla was saying, most of us don't have a lot of time as we're building our business. Call when you have a few minutes, maybe while you're waiting for your kids to get out of school, or while you wait for your lunch to heat at work, or before you get out of your car when you first get home, before you go in. Very few of us can block out a chunk of time to call. So if you create small pockets of time where you can make 1 or 2 calls a few times a day, that's going to make it a lot easier, and it's going to support that whole mindset of that booking isn't that big of a deal. Until I was able to quit my job 4 years ago, I made the majority of my calls over my lunch break. Or if I had an experiment going where I had a lot of time, I could duck out for a break or something like that. Okay, so remember I said 80% of this is in your head, and then 20% is actually the do, calling and asking. So this last 20%, I'm just going to go over some ideas as far as what to say. And just remember, as you say it, you are grateful that you have this incredible business to offer to your friend, either as far as a group presentation or as a business partnership. Everything you say must be sincere. We know that. And Kayla talked about it being authentic. It's okay if you prepare your verbiage, if it's prepared and practiced as long as it comes from your heart. That's the most important thing. So here are some examples of calling in gratitude and offering the benefits of hosting or doing something wonderful for somebody. Okay, so let's say it's a friend or a family member, somebody you know. Hi, Rachel, it's Marianne Hubbard calling. Am I catching you at a good time? Great. Okay, well, as you know, I've been growing my Arbonne business these years, and it allows me to work from home and to be the main provider for our family. And I do this, I work my business by having spa nights or get-togethers, and I so enjoy spending time with you, and I would be grateful if you consider having a get-together for me. It's really simple. I do all the work, and you get to enjoy your friends, and the best part is I get to hang out with you and spend time with you. And it would so mean the world to me. Can you help me out? And then, most of us have heard this before, the best thing you can do is then stop talking and let the other person say something, because we tend to get nervous and talk and talk and talk and talk, and we talk ourselves right out of an answer from somebody. So there's one. Here's another one. If you're calling, let's say, an acquaintance or a bump into. Hi, Liz. It's Marianne Hubbard calling. If you remember, we met at the Business Women's Network meeting last week. Am I catching you at a good time? Great. Well, hey, I just want to let you know that I so enjoyed meeting you, and I would love to get together and chat more. In my business, I get to host health and wellness get-togethers, and you are just the kind of person that I'd enjoy hanging out with. Would you be open to maybe having a get-together with a few of your friends? It's super simple. I do all the work, and you get to hang out with your friends, and it would mean the world to me. Can we call it a date? And then, yeah, just, Stacy says, grab your guns. So you won't say anything. So it's not the exact words so much. I know for a lot of us, we have ways that what we say to people that we feel comfortable with and are very sincere. But so that's the most important thing. It's just that you mean what you say. Our business is a great way to be with people, and you don't have to say too much about it. You don't have to go into a lot of detail at first about what you do with that initial ask, and then people will ask you more, and you can, when they do, you can share. You can give more information about what you do. So as far there's always the objections side of this. Not, you have to be realistic. Not everybody's going to say yes and just go, okay, fine. A lot of times people will have objections, and that's fine. And it's important to be respectful of your client and address their objectives in the most truthful way. And I think especially to let people know that to host is a bit of work on the host's part, but that you're going to do all you can to make sure it's a really fun evening and to go out of your way for her in return as things. So oftentimes you get the objection, well, I'm too busy. And you can say, I totally understand. That's why I'm calling you, because busy people get it done. And who more than you needs just an hour or two to yourself with a few friends? I can't afford it. I understand. I sure understand the whole idea of staying on a budget. And let me just put your mind at ease, because as the host, I'm going to shower you with Arbonne as my thank you. And all of your guests can shop anywhere from 20 to 50% off as well. So discounts are available. I don't know anybody. That's another one. I understand. I want this to be fun for you, and it doesn't have to be a crowd of thousands. 2 of your best friends, or maybe a favorite neighbor or 2. Arbonne classes are best set up to have small groups and to make people feel special. So just a few people that you'd love to have here would be great. Okay. So filling your calendar can be a joy. We tend to make it big in our heads, but it can be small or maintainable if you let it, if you want it to be. It's a fabulous business, and you want to be grateful for the opportunity to fill your calendar and be filled with expectancy that you know you will. How good do you feel when your calendar is full? You love your business. Everything's going great. You feel good. You've got lots of energy. You're excited, and you love what you do. So just remind yourself, I don't know how it's going to happen, I just know it will. Believe you can, and it will. It's not as hard as we make it. So, as far as calling, see the lie that you tell yourself, shift it, and tell the story that serves you best. Love your business. Love your calendar. Spend that 80% getting your mind right, and then love what happens to your business. The habit you created in struggling to book is a habit that can be changed, can be replaced. What if booking is easy? What if you are 8 for 8 yeses? What if booking is a breeze? So, thank you so much. I do have a call to action too, or I have an assignment for this evening. And it's pretty simple. Okay, so here it is. So first of all, like I was saying, get your mind right. I want you to write down your affirmations that bring about or that support the fact that booking is fun, that booking is easy, that you're great at it, that your calendar's always full, whatever works best for you. Any kind of mantra that focuses on booking being a breeze. Okay, number 2, make your booking business plan for the month. And so it's not too late, of course. So basically what that is line out your presentation goals and your coffee appointment goals, etc. who you're going to invite to the Discover Arvon. And then figure out all the asks that you'll need to make that happen. And then make your list of who you're going to call and how many people you will need to get in touch with. It's going to help you stretch. That's one thing that's really great. It really starts helping you think beyond just the safer circle, maybe, or the safer list of people that you have in your head to help. Okay, number 3, for your call to action, call in gratitude and with expectancy. And I want you to do this just all week long, okay? Figure out your pockets of time, practice your gratitude first. And then also, in addition to that, I'm going to have a call with gratitude night this Thursday at the Loft. So if you want to come down and call in gratitude with some of your teammates, we'd love to have you. It'll be from 5:30 to 8:30. And so you can continue practicing that. And let's see what happens. And then lastly, keep track of your gratitude and expectancy mindset. Produce that evidence to back up your new story that serves you, kind of like the list that I made of people. Track that. Track what happens in the yeses. How many yeses, how many calls back, et cetera. Somebody popping out of woodwork all of a sudden. And then we would love for you to post your wins on the United Regions page as well, so that we can all share that. Okay, and then just lastly, I will give you the names of the Learn and Burns and the consultants for those the consultants that did those Learn and Burns. The first one is from 2013. It's called How to Book Your Calendar with Purpose. How to Book Your Calendar with Purpose. And that's Stacy Sheehan Wilson. So, and I looked it up today on the source. If you type in just even a few keywords, it will bring, or Stacy, it'll bring it up. And then the other one, which I really love, I think it's great, it's such a nuts and bolts Learn and Burn, is strategic building versus emotion building. And that's from 2014. That's by Mary Beth Relier. And that's, her last name is spelled Relya. So I hope you guys will listen to it. And good luck. Call in gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Marianne. That was awesome. Really inspired me to get my ask in gear. So we're going to go ahead and do the drawings. And so if you are a first-time guest tonight, you should have gotten a ticket to put in either the drawing for products or for a book. The book is Dare to Dream, Work to Win. And if you are a consultant and want to buy tickets, you can buy tickets for $1. So this is the time. Okay, this is for the book. And the number is the last 4 digits, 7607. Product. Last 4 digits, 7605.
You read in between.
Okay, so I'm just gonna close out the meeting here, and I just was looking for something, I don't know, I just was kind of looking through this book. I've been reading a lot on leadership, and I'm reading a different John Maxwell book, actually I just finished this morning, his Leadership 101, but I had this one with me, and so I was looking for something that kind of struck me to share with you guys, and this is what I found. So Eleanor Roosevelt acknowledged, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You are able to say to yourself, I lived through this horror. I think the next thing that comes, I think I can take the next thing that comes along. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. So how do you tend to handle fear? So this is just something, you guys, it was really, I had an interesting experience with my son. So he's going to be 13 this month. And we went to Sports Authority and bought some shoelaces for his baseball cleats, and they were too short. And we figured that out immediately after going to the next store. And so we went back, and I said, okay, you can just run in and exchange them. And he flat out refused to do it. He said, I can't do it. He was paralyzed by fear. And in the moment, I didn't get it, and I got upset, and I was like, I don't want to, and we had like stopped at a bunch of stores. I was like, I do not want to park the car, get out of the car, and you can do this. And I realized later, like, oh my gosh, he was paralyzed by fear. And so we talked about it, and I said, Ben, what were you afraid of? And he said, I was afraid they would tell me I couldn't exchange them. And I was like, oh my gosh, and it just reminded me of our outbound businesses and how we get paralyzed because we're afraid someone's going to tell us no. And I mean, I'm just thinking about him, and I'm thinking about me working my business and what kind of example am I being to him, and teaching him that it's okay if they say no. Like, are you going to fall down dead on the store floor if they tell you no? And so really think about, how do you tend to handle fear? Do you embrace it? Are stretching experiences a regular part of your daily life? Or have you retreated so far into your comfort zone that you don't ever even feel fear? How must you change to develop a spirit of courage in your life? So just something to go home and think about. Thanks for coming, you guys. Oh, and if everybody could help just pick up chairs.